Hey, about to read this poem, called Bleeding Thoughts. Bleeding Thoughts, I wrote a little over a year ago. I used to write on this site called GS Poetry. It's where I dropped a lot of my poems and developed a writing style specifically for me. I did a lot of PB chains on there and response poems, and this is a response poem. Um, yeah, Bleeding Thoughts. My thoughts bleed through my pen to a blank sheet like slitting wrists vertically stain the floor from one accepting defeat. This ink leaks like pricked fingers dripping drops just as the ink percolates my thoughts. In blood, I write the turmoil of one's broken heart and taste the tears that run down the face from their pain. I speak of eventual relief of sorts, the rainbow after the thunderous booms and rain. As a cutter cuts, to get the high of forgetting reality, I bandage the wounds with word gauze, letting them know they aren't the only ones who suffer, not the only ones not protected 100% by the government and its laws. I do my best to ease the people's stress as their blood and sweat taint my own troubles. Taking precedent over me is their duress, even though taking on their monkeys just means the weight on my shoulders has more than doubled. But nonetheless, I take on their burden. Even when on their face shows strength, I cry out for them because inside I know they're hurting. My blood pumps through my veins as blackness seeps through this writing utensils and makes known no names but brings forth the realness of all the aches of the people. My thoughts bleed. When one would rather stand on the corner begging, I'll take any help if you please, rather than jump out into moving traffic making suicide by automobile their decree. My thoughts bleed when laughter is no longer heard in a home, but weeps are heard just outside its doors on the streets. House was just foreclosed. Family has taken to living in their car. Must continue on, rather that than give up all hope. My thoughts bleed. Another one has lost their job. Bills continue to pile up. Some were expecting an immediate turnaround, but seems this recession just won't let up. My thoughts bleed. For drug addicts and their babies, for the dealers and killers and all who touch by they be, for the convicts, free felons, and all innocents, for the fight of our ancestors and the struggles of their descendants. My thoughts bleed for the lonely and the left behinds, for those who feel like they're going out of their minds, for the depressed and downtrodden, for the played and manipulated, the suffering, broken-hearted. My bleeding thoughts, or not just my thoughts bleeding, they belong to these people who cry inside because relief seems to be nowhere near to them receiving. And since they are too busy not speaking but thinking, bleeding out their pain in hopes of relieving, then it is up to me to sing their grief and take on the responsibility of taking from them the blood that has been spilled, the tears that have been cried, the agony that has been realized, and make it so it's not just them or theirs, but it's me and mine, and our thoughts bleeding. Peace.